This is the Social Media Live podcast show of Colonel Edmund Remie Gray on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Join the Colonel every Sunday and Wednesday for poignant socio-political discussions shaping our Liberian homeland. Around here, we put the motherland over any celebrity, politician, or superstar. Stay tuned. This is the Social Media Live podcast show of Colonel Edmund Remie Gray on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Join the Colonel every Sunday and Wednesday for poignant socio-political discussions shaping our Liberian homeland. Around here, we put the motherland over any celebrity, politician, or superstar. Stay tuned. This is the Social Media Live podcast show of Colonel Edmund Remie Gray on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Join the Colonel every Sunday and Wednesday for poignant socio-political discussions shaping our Liberian homeland. Around here, we put the motherland over any celebrity, politician, or superstar. Stay tuned. This is the Social Media Live podcast show of Colonel Edmund Remie Gray on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Join the Colonel every Sunday and Wednesday for poignant socio-political discussions shaping our Liberian homeland. Around here, we put the motherland over any celebrity, politician, or superstar. Stay tuned. This is the Social Media Live podcast show of Colonel Edmund Remie Gray on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Join the Colonel every Sunday and Wednesday for poignant socio-political discussions shaping our Liberian homeland. Around here, we put the motherland over any celebrity, politician, or superstar. Stay tuned. This is the Social Media Live podcast show of Colonel Edmund Remie Gray on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Join the Colonel every Sunday and Wednesday for poignant socio-political discussions shaping our Liberian homeland. Around here, we put the motherland over any celebrity, politician, or superstar. Stay tuned. This is the Social Media Live podcast show of Colonel Edmund Remie Gray on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Join the Colonel every Sunday and Wednesday for poignant socio-political discussions shaping our Liberian homeland. Around here, we put the motherland over any celebrity, politician, or superstar. Stay tuned. This is the Social Media Live podcast show of Colonel Edmund Remie Gray on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Join the Colonel every Sunday and Wednesday for poignant socio-political discussions shaping our Liberian homeland. Around here, we put the motherland over any celebrity, politician, or superstar. Stay tuned. This is the Social Media Live podcast show of Colonel Edmund Remie Gray on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Join the Colonel every Sunday and Wednesday for poignant socio-political discussions shaping our Liberian homeland. Around here, we put the motherland over any celebrity, politician, or superstar. Stay tuned. This is the Social Media Live podcast show of Colonel Edmund Remie Gray on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Join the Colonel every Sunday and Wednesday for poignant socio-political discussions shaping our Liberian homeland. Around here, we put the motherland over any celebrity, politician, or superstar. Stay tuned.
If you use certain lingo, certain words,
This is the Social Media Live podcast show of Colonel Edmund Remie Gray on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Join the Colonel.
Will definitely take different trends. We'll have different social platforms with which we present some of our issues, and so this is just one of them, but there could be others, and I just want to thank you for joining me tonight. As you may have, as you all are aware, recently we headed for the polls. I think it was recently we completed the by-elections. There were two by-elections, one involving Darius DeLon, and the second one involving District 15 between Taylor Ure and Abu Kamara, who are the two front runners. But one of the first things that we're going to present is what is our own leadership, Liberian leadership, the president, especially led by his team, what's their position on these elections? Because let me tell you something, these elections can break or make a country. A divisive leadership in power will perpetuate these kinds of occasions to further divide the country or plunge it into further chaos. Elections are meant to perfect our democracy. They test the resolve of our electorates, and the ability for ruling parties or a government of the day to actually accept the mandate of the people. There's nothing about democracy if one individual calls the shot. This is a collective decision. There are political historians, social activists that would say democracy tyrannizes the minority by the majority. So the majority, victimize the minority. That's democracy. Whatever decision stems from, the collective input of the people, that becomes the decision that will be accepted as long as it falls within the majority. And for this case, let me first go to where this whole thing started, because I think the president of the Republic of Liberia actually led the narrative that we have, on hand today. President Weah had gone to, is this the social arena? Let's switch our platform and go to the social arena, and let's see what President Weah had to say at the campaign rally of Abu Kamara. Just a minute. Yeah, so the president had gone to Abu Kamara's rally, and he definitely had gone there to grace the occasion. Of course, it is his democratic right to participate, and whenever his party is involved in an election, definitely the president has the ability.
They are dividing you. You must teach them a lesson of victory. You are always victorious. You are a winner. They are a loser. You must teach them that you are the winner. The fellow partisan, I want to thank you for your resilience. I want to thank you for your commitment. This is our party. Don't let them persuade you. This is our time. And in our time, we must win everything. The election is not going to work. We will be going to vote on Monday because I will be going there to vote. I'm going to vote for Abu and I'm going to vote for Sisi. And I want you to join me. The two names that I called to you with our candidates, and those are the winners. We will celebrate Bolsonaro again. We have history. Our coalition has a history. If you check, if you do research, you will know that from Esther Bryant, John Mutu Freeman, Lechalino, George Weah, you will know that the seats of Bolsonaro country belongs to you. Of an election that I know that my candidate I was not ready. Because
all right, so I'm sure for the bulk of us, some of these victory speeches were not, they were campaign messages, of course. Like I said, the president is entitled to campaign for his party whenever his party is in a race. But let's not forget that the president is also the panacea of peace and stability, unity of the nation. So some of the utterances itself were troubling. The fact that this man would declare an entire county as a stronghold of his political organization, in spite of the fact that his government is performing so dismally and poorly. That was a test of the time. Now, he set the stage for defiance. Imagine what happens when a president takes the podium and have spoken so eloquently about how to possess and own a certain territory and that others cannot come in. You know, as we say in our Liberian way, play friskiness. He does not want to hear Abu win the election. He wants to hear that Abu crush everybody in the election. Did that happen? One can also say that because that ambition did not come to fruition completely, the president is on the defensive. And it's extremely difficult for a president with so much popularity. Just, you know, if you wind the clock back 16 months ago, he was one of the most popular people in the Republic of Liberia. And this was a test of that popularity. This president has degenerated his popularity because of the dismal performance, especially Pauletta Weah, who probably the belief was going to win landslide over Darius Dillon. But the fact that Darius began to pull in every polls, that was taken, Darius Dillon was leading. Opinion polls. I mean, I want to say kudos to those who make some of these efforts sometimes to reach out to people and test their result to see who they will vote for. But among others, Henry Costa, you know, ran so many his popular morning show, and people were calling in, phoning in, with the ambition to vote for Mr. Darius Dillon. So that's a done deal. Equally with Talia Ure. But at the end of the elections, both parties, meaning the coalition, as well as the CDC, both parties took to the street to jubilate. Let us go and see. Let's inspect some of the jubilation. First, let's bring Talia or Tilia.
Show me.
Let's show the president came there and fired gun at us in the end, so it's going to shoot guns just to put up fear tactics. So that you can win this election in the district. Yesterday, District 15, the citizens have spoken that Terra Ure is the next representative.
Sao!
Everybody who will happen in the district.
Sao!
We get president, we are a job. The president, he must pay attention to that job.
So that's it. That's just a synopsis of tele folks jubilating. I mean, of course, that clip is longer than that, and you can see just how much people were enthusiastic about the whole process, and definitely, according to one of the individuals there, he said the community, District 15, spoke and gave Talia Ure a mandate. A landslide mandate. So, for the likes of you who probably don't know the genesis of some of the reasons why the Elections Commission cannot release in tandem the elections result, there are other situations surrounding this, and I'm pretty sure. As we go down the show, we'll be able to see some of what will become the ultimate decision. But I think there were some irregularities based on poll watchers, and the story looms. So let's go to see whether we can find the other party jubilating as well. It's important that we present both sides of the issue here. Just a second, if this is not coming up, let's see if we can adjust the audio here. Just a minute. Hopefully it works, but that was maybe the audio is even distorted, but by and large, Abu Kamar, his partisans as well took to the street, and so all parties jubilated because they felt they had won, and as the exit polls were coming in, people were tallying some of them. And some of them were officialized by elections commissioners who were on the scene. And based on those exit counts or poll, those exit results, people were able to come up with a tentative result. And it is extremely acceptable in elections that we have some of this mechanism to avoid any electoral irregularities. So both parties took to the street that day jubilating that they've won the elections. But that is reminiscent of our Liberian culture. We dance. And so, as we were saying,
Show me.
So, my bad. So definitely we went to work. We went to work and tried to see what is holding some of the outcome, especially of the District 15 election, which is so acrimonious, because that election will also put the ruling party into abyss with the rest of the electorates, people who have come to make it their duty every day to come out to vote for the CDC. it doesn't take much. It takes probably 2 losses for someone to begin to think that you don't have what it takes to win elections any longer in Montserrado. And I agree with those who are making the case now that this president does not have the needed popularity he had going in 16 months ago. Okay, so let me see if I can go back and find Taylor Ure and others. When just a minute. Like I said, we have so many platforms to bring up the issues, but we have to be able to present the issues as we see them, not necessarily from a partisanship perspective, but from a perspective of being in the middle, just to be able to let people get a gist of exactly what is holding this election, the outcome of the election. What is it that why people are not releasing the elections result? In spite, let me bring you an analysis from the Costa show, where Miss Ure had gone in studio, and let's see what she has to say. Give me a second here as I bring you.
Sing.
So this is
there were 94 polling places. You won 52.
Listen.
You went neck and neck with him in Logantown. We were not so optimistic about, but surprisingly, you did very well there. And Caldwell, which we expected you to win, you swept. So that gives you quite an edge. But this is where we are. So the NEC has announced that you filed a complaint, and one of the other candidates filed a complaint also. And so they have quarantined certain of those trouble areas, and they're going to not announce results from there until everything's concluded. You want to bring us up to speed with that?
Yeah, I just want to start, since this is my first radio appearance since the election, I want to start by talking to my supporters a bit. Just saying a huge thank you for coming out to vote on election day, for showing me support throughout the process, for being there, being my rock during this whole electoral process. I want to say thank you to all of you. You worked extremely hard, and you should be very proud today of all of the work that you have been able to accomplish and all of the work that we have done in the district. I want to say a big thank you to my movement, my campaign team, the 4 collaborating parties, our political leaders. You guys, we should be celebrating today, because what we have been able to accomplish is very, very, very commendable. Also want to use this occasion to congratulate my big brother and friend Darius Dillon. We made it, and I'm so happy and so proud that we've gotten to where we have gotten. Today is definitely a good day for Liberia and Liberian people. Before we even go to the election results, the past week or the past 2 weeks have been very, very interesting. I'm sure you heard about our closing rally. The day that we're supposed to close our campaign, there were so many incidents that day, violence, people throwing rocks and different objects, shooting at our headquarters, leaving our supporters in fear, basically. It was just over 20-30 people were wounded that day. Our headquarters was under siege. People were stuck in for hours and hours, and videos show the police sitting there and watching our people get brutally injured attacked. It's sad. So we still have people out there that are still healing from these wounds, that are still healing from the trauma of that day. The whole of District 15 was like a war zone, really like a war zone. People came from other districts, I don't know where they came from, and came into our district to terrorize us in our district on a day that we're supposed to be merrymaking, on a day that it was supposed to be peaceful, we're supposed to be happy, enjoying, and celebrating the close of what we would consider a good campaign period. Very sad. I apologize on behalf of the people that did these things to our supporters. And, I just want to thank you all, no matter what. I saw people hopping with all of their injuries or still hopping to the ballot box that day to make sure that they go out and vote for us. So I just thought that I had to highlight that, appreciate them, and apologize to them for everything that they faced.
All right, beautiful stuff. Ms. Taylor Ure is our guest. Our candidate from District Number 15 is just headed by elections. And now let's get to the mechanical stuff. So 3 trouble spots have been. What alarmed you, first of all, to file a complaint to have those areas quarantined?
Okay, so going through all of the election results, normal trends are there. We have 94 polling places in the district. From what I have seen, we have won for 52. Mr. Kamara has won 41, and then I think we're tied at 1 polling place. When you look at the results, everything is just glaring. You can see that, at a particular place, which is Samuel T. Kuhn, you see the numbers are normal all over. You see 120, somebody at 70, somebody at 120, the other 110, the other person.
That's pretty normal.
That's pretty normal. 50, 60 point gap between us is pretty normal. And then you go to one precinct you go to, you see Minister Kamara getting 190, I getting 20. 180 something, I getting 30. 170 something, I getting 40. In one precinct, they were able to not get, I'm not saying 800 votes, they were able to get 800 votes on top of me, just from one precinct.
Imagine.
One precinct with 700, with 7 polling places, 6 polling places in it. Samuel T. Kuhn. So, let me just go into the background of it. This is just one of the few places that we flagged. When that happened, when I saw the results, I immediately knew that something was wrong there. So I started to call my supervisors from Samuel T. Kuhn, and they alerted me that there were several incidents there. The first one was one of the polling places. The guy, the poll watcher flagged that the voter roll, because what we did. Cause I don't want to jump too fast. We expected the government to fight us in this election. That's why none of these results come as a surprise to us. We expected there to be a lot of these irregularities, because we that live in the district know that this race it was solid. Our lead was a solid lead, so there wasn't anything we were really struggling for. So what we did was we made sure. I remember that day at NEC, we were at a meeting at NEC, and I sat down with the Chairman Kokoya, and we had a little back and forth. And I told him, I said, listen, all the things, no matter what you say, we know where these loopholes are. So we need to make sure that the voter roll, 1, is the same voter roll as 2017, and 2, we need to make sure that we have representation, to make sure that the voter roll that the VIOs have represents to make sure that we can observe what the VIOs are doing. They did agree and they allowed us to have voter roll observers. So what I did, I made sure that everybody, all of my poll watchers had a copy of the 2017 voter roll, which is the voter roll that they should have been using. And they sat there along with the VIOs to monitor what they were doing. In one of those polling places, the poll watcher flagged, because everybody can be as sharp as flagging things. So at one of the same Samuel T. Cohn's precinct that's under question, one of our voter roll observers flagged that this voter roll that you use is not the same voter roll I have. They tried to brush him off and he went to his supervisor and told his supervisor, and they gave us this voter roll and told the supervisor that this voter roll that they're using is not the same voter roll that we have in our hand. The supervisor tried to engage, the presiding officer got angry, started to be antagonistic. They called our head office immediately. This was in the afternoon.
On election day.
On election day. Our chairman of our movement proceeded there. The UP chairman of the district proceeded there. And they went there and they showed all of the proof that voter roll is not the same voter roll as the 2017 roll. Do you know what they did? They changed the voter roll. Right then and there, when we brought our people in, they changed the voter roll. They have already done what they wanted to do at that point, because all of that stuff is done in the morning.
Now, so see, hold on, please. I want to get this across.
Let me
give you one voter roll. On election day, you noticed that there was a different voter roll.
Yeah.
Fine. I just wanted to re-echo that.
So they changed the voter roll, but we said we're not going to leave it at that. Obviously, we will file a complaint at NEC. We filed the complaint at NEC, right? Day before yesterday, we filed a complaint at NEC. Tuesday morning, when I woke up. Okay, before I get there, the second center that we flagged, which is Donald Carana's. That's what NEC calls it anyway. At that polling place, you see the same margins. You see the same larger turnout, high votes for Mr. Kamara. I went back to investigate what really happened at that center. Many people saw a live video where one of my polling officers and the Secretary General of my movement were arrested. They were arrested. They were charged. They said that, they wanted to pay people to go inside and do this and that and the other. And in the video, you see that the SG and the polling staff, which is he's a part of our campaign team also. He's there saying, y'all charge me. If I got money on me, y'all charge me. Y'all will see. If I get money on me, you will find a ticket from me. I don't have any money. Why y'all doing this? 105 came there, order his arrest. They arrested him, and the SG, who was the supervisor for that place, took them straight to jail, meaning that whole precinct was left unprotected for hours. While they were going through that rigmarole and they're transferring those guys to prison. The guys just left from prison day before yesterday night.
Yep.
I went to the police station
and I called Patrick Sue.
Do you know that from that particular polling place we see the same margin? Abu getting 80%, I getting 20%.
Where your people were arrested.
Where my people were arrested and taken from.
Yep.
I mean, you see the numbers and you just wonder how is it.
All right, so that was just again a synopsis I was trying to bring you about what transpired at a couple of polling places where Miss Ure, her electoral monitors, two of whom were arrested, those living Donald Caranda. There's a precinct. One of the precincts called Donald Caranda, her representatives that were supposed to be there to monitor the election, they were arrested and taken away. And at that particular center, Mr. Abu Kamara was winning. Won, according to the tally, he won by 80%, over 80%. So while that precinct was left unmanned by Tilia's representative. He managed to pull through. Another polling precinct where she flagged irregularity was something, another place called Samuel Coon. Okay, so they had gone, during the start of the election, they distributed voter rolls, registration roll. They say this is the voter registration. But then they had gone to work cleverly and printed a different one, different from what was circulated to them. And so somebody flagged the irregularity. I said, but wait a minute, you guys are using two different voter rolls. How come? And then the elections official there went to work and swapped what those people had in their hand. At that time, the damage had been done. So more than likely, let me tell you what will happen. More than likely, because of these irregularities, Ms. Ure and his campaign team, they filed a protest because 94 different polling stations, she won 52 while Abu Kamara had 41. You understand? But because of those irregularities, Abu led her by 800. Not only one, but 800. And so therefore, we're saying that if Abu deserves, that much vote from one precinct, when the sampling shows that definitely Tilia was she led in almost all. It's not possible for somebody to have 180 and someone getting 20. So you see the irregularities. That this is how people won election, this gone election in 2017, and they have transported some of these low tricks into our electoral process. Indecency. If you believe that you're the giant of Montserrado County, you understand? Let the election go without any irregularities, and we continue to say the only way some of these people will win election in Liberia is by cheating. So the Elections Commission went to work. But let me bring you what will happen. As I was saying, let me see if I can find what will mostly likely be the outcome of that election. If in case you are still waiting, thinking that they're going to
we might have to do a rerun of these three centers. Do a rerun, because it doesn't make sense that the people fighting all over. If Abu leaves Tele here by 20, Tele will leave there by 30. Like a seesaw, up and down, seesaw. Fidel gets 10 over me there, I get 12 over him there. Fidel gets 5 over me, I get 6 over him. That's how they were doing. But then the Karawa area, Tele spikes. She does way better because of her turf. She's the only candidate from Karawa, so the Karawa people, she's really dominated in the Karawa area. But then we go to these three trouble areas. Shoot, everything there is just extraordinarily different. It's like an oasis, like in the middle of the desert. There's no water anywhere, but then bam, you just see a stream with trees and vegetables or fruits or whatever in the middle of the desert. So how did Abu do so well in this particular area? And these areas happen to be places where, one, Telia's people were removed from, arrested, put in jail. Two, they allow some addendum voting. Yeah, and the law says, the Supreme Court ruling even said, once your name is not in the FRR, the final registration roll, you shall not vote. But they allow people to vote there whose names were not on the thing. Then the FRR that they use there, it's kind of strange. So the question is, how is it that in the entire district, the overall turnout was about 35% or so, but in this particular area, the turnout just spikes.
Like we used to say in high school, all people can spot.
It has a spot.
You can't want to do some kind of thing in the process, then you not get a sense to do it. It exposes you, and this is what has happened. And I am praying that the National Elections Commission will conduct a speedy investigation and see what are the reasons responsible for this kind of ballooning that went on in these 3 centers. Because at the end of the day, especially when Telia's representatives were removed and we see the figures are up at this level, there is a cause for concern.
They were arrested, not just removed. Telia's people were arrested and put in jail. I went to the police station that day, met Patrick Sulu, talked to him, tried to get them released. They said no. And then boop, the votes in that particular area. So they said Abu leads Telia by 900 votes when they called the results last night. So Abu, according to them, has about what? 40-something percent, 45%, and Telia has 37%. 900 votes, the margin. But guess what? 900 votes. Okay, how is it? First of all, from our tally sheets and everything, when you quarantine, if the NEC really did quarantine these votes in these trouble areas where we got concerns, hey, there is no way Abu leads Telia. Because if Abu gets 10 votes over Telia in a place in Lokin Town, Telia gets 50 votes over him in a place in Carwell or in another place in Blambo Town or in another place. So here's what we're afraid of. When the election was going on, we did our own polling, right? We got polling numbers. And the polling numbers were very good. But we were particularly concerned about the Lokin Town area. But then we were saying, okay, even if we don't do so well in the Lokin Town area, we will make up for that in the Carwell area. Because Telia was really polling strongly in the Carwell area. But what surprised us, Peter, when the results came, Telia won several polling places in Lokin Town. So automatically we're very excited because we didn't expect to do so well in Lokin Town, but we did so well in Lokin Town. Then the votes from the Carwell area added to what we did in Lokin Town. Bam!
It's just simple logic.
Precisely.
Simple logic. In any elections, particular candidates have their control areas, and that is why if you are doing your calculation, the first thing you consider is that I would not do so well in this area, but if I can put up this number of votes, it means I am somewhere else. So if you do the calculation from Carwell, Lokin Town, and you consider how strong he is in Carwell, then we shouldn't be talking about 900 votes.
Yeah, because there is a point. We were afraid that Abu might do way better than Telia in the Lokin Town area before the elections. But then the numbers don't show that. The numbers don't show that Abu got any stronghold. But what they're trying to say, these 3 areas where Telia people were removed from are the areas where they are Abu's stronghold. So in the entire district, that 3 polling places or 3 precincts that Abu are a stronghold. That's where Abu gets, I think Abu gets a total, 1,800 votes over Telia in just that place.
Imagine that.
Yeah. And that's what takes Abu. That's why you see Abu is leading Telia by 977 votes according to the results that have been announced. But guess what? So Abu only got 3 precincts in the whole, that is strong in the whole area. And so Abu's stronghold, the people voted there, the turnout is significantly higher than the turnout in the entire district. Strange. That's why they are doing this stuff. But anyway, they're gonna do the the votes is 5,500 for Abu, 5,515 for Abu, and then 4,540 for Telia. 975 votes margin. But we're gonna go over it. They're gonna do the thing. If possible, we're gonna call for one of the options we have is to do a rerun, and then we bring the voter roll for that pay. We sit down there, we scrub it with tar soap and put Lazo everything on it. Then we do the rerun there. But we're not gonna accept something funny. No way. So if we're gonna have to do a rerun for district number 15 for that particular area, not the whole district, just the areas where Abu said that is stronghold, where Telia's people were removed from. And then while they were removed, Abu suddenly got tons of votes there. People voted for him overwhelmingly. So we're going to call for a rerun. I'm told even Abu has asked for a recount in certain areas. So already there are issues. Abu claims he has issues. We do have issues, and we believe our issues are very serious. So we're going to ask for a rerun in those.
APR 4.22%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate subject to change. 8.88% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's you, Jamie. Don't hang up. You need to hear this. You gotta quit wearing that aviator jacket. Nobody's buying it. Sorry you have to hear it from me, but at Progressive, we're all about giving it to people straight. That's why we show our rates alongside our competitors' rates. And when you're helping people find great rates, you don't need some jacket to look cool. Just keep rocking that scarf.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparisons not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
This is Brad Milkey of the ABC News Start Here podcast with your sports update. The Houston Astros acquired pitcher Zach Greinke before baseball's trade deadline. Despite a big lead in the American League West, the Astros have their eye on October. And with star hurler Lance McCullers out for the year following elbow surgery, Houston now adds the six-time All-Star to a talented rotation that already includes Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander.
This ABC Sports Update was brought to you by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance.
Knock some projects off your to-do list without having to do them yourself. Every day, over 8,000 homeowners turn to the Home Depot's home services to help install doors, water treatment systems, cabinet makeovers, nearly any home improvement project. Visit homedepot.com/services and go from to-do to done with licensed local pros backed by the Home Depot. More safe, more doing. For license information, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
And of course, those were words from our sponsors. Good evening, this is the Colonel Edmund Remie Gray Show. Thanks for watching. In case you're just joining me and you're wondering what this is post-electoral, post-by-electoral commentary. Matter of fact, this is just a fit analysis based on the fact that the results from District 15 have yet to be released by Elections Commission. But nonetheless, let's see whether we can hear from our Elections Commission regarding the outcome of that election. But especially, they were very generous to us by coming to announce that Darius Dillon, among others, have won the by-election for Montserrado. So let's see what the commissioner have to say. Hopefully. All right, so I need to give this some volume here. Just give me a second here. By election. Give me a moment. Anyhow, I'm having some audio issues there, but it was so prevalent by the Elections Commissioner at least to come out and announce Darius Dillon as the winner of the Montserrado by elections. Nonetheless, the issue about Tilia is still pending, meaning the District 15. And there they give you some statistics. Maybe I'll put a link on, downloadable link, probably on demand, so you can come in at your quiet time and just listen to what the Commission of Elections have to say regarding the outcome of the Tilia in Abu Kamara's District 15 election. Let's move along with the program here, and those of you who probably may not be aware of this program will try to come in the middle at all costs. We do have other platforms that are directly politically aligned and associated. So we wanted to be able to bring you human rights issues of electioneering and the fairness in electioneering. Of course, these issues are human rights issues. And I saw somebody was trying to question why we had to say human right. Well, political issues are human right issues, and if there are any post-electoral violence, those can be mitigated at the human right level, in case you're not aware. So when we say human right issues, people will only think that you're advocating for other issues, but also political matters can be reduced to human right issues. Let us see if we can take a musical break. One of our own sons, Michael Gray, made a single, and let's see if we can bring it as single.
Let us give a hand to the man. Could we realize in our hearts there's all the fragrance of unity, and the sounds of love ring throughout the land. Sweet Liberians, come and save your sweet home. I am begging you, can't you see your home you love? Can't you see the phone and the doors are falling down? Sweet Liberians, this is our only home. Unity rings throughout the land. Every man sing a cheerful song. Spirit of unity swell through every heart. Take the wheels of our land to a higher ground. Sweet Liberians, come and save your sweet home. I'm begging you, can't you see your home you love? Can't you see the phone and the doors are falling down? Sweet Liberians, this is our only home. Then we will, like the way we used to do, dancing down one side, dancing down the red lights. We be dancing all around. Then we would, like the way we used to do, dancing down one side, dancing down the red light. We be dancing all around. Sweet Liberians, come and save your sweet home. I'm begging you, can't you see your home you love? Can't you see the phone and the doors are falling down? Sweet Liberians, this is our only home. Sweet Liberians, come and save your sweet home. I'm begging you, can't you see your home you love? Can't you see the phone and the doors are falling down? Sweet Liberians, this is our only home. Sweet Liberians, come and save your sweet home. I'm begging you, can't you see your home you love? Can't you see the phone and the doors are falling down? Sweet Liberians, this is our only home. Sweet Liberians, come and save your sweet home. I'm begging you, can't you see your home you love? Can't you see the phone and the doors are falling down? Sweet Liberians, this is our only home. Liberians, save your sweet home. Begging you, come get your love. See the floors, the doors are falling down. This is our only home.
And of course, we need to be able to thank Michael Gray. Michael actually is huge in the New Jersey area. He's a son of the soil. He's my own relative, so therefore I will promote his music. But so would also promote other Liberian artists, up and coming artists, and it's our ardent responsibility, those of us in the limelight, in the quarter of the media, to be able to present our own cultural taste to the rest of the world. And I pretty much thank you so much, Michael Gray, for that single. It's a masterpiece. It's still in the development stage in terms of creating it from a single to an album. Michael is extremely talented, and he has been writing songs since I remember him back in grade school. He would just come with poetry, something he puts together. He used to talk about rhyming and all that stuff. At an early age, you see the brilliance in the man, but he has grown to be a very, very, very community-oriented person. I'm running back to some of the traffic room to be able to bring you the traffic, but it's going to be local. But I decided not to bring it tonight because hey, who cares about the traffic in Minneapolis? Right? Let me see if I can bring some folks, if I do have the ability to add them on camera. I want to believe Cindy was here. If you don't want to come, just no accept. That would be all right. But Cindy was here, and I wanted to bring her on camera because this issue about electoral irregularities is clearly a matter of human right concern, because one of the reasons why we went to civil war in the first place was because 1985 elections were deemed rigged, and so we ended up with a president who became very intolerant. The only reason why people tend to rig elections is because they want to perpetuate themselves in power. And the fact that they will rig the election, that in itself is dishonesty, and it's wrong. And definitely people who find themselves in the corridors of power through that means end up being extremely violent. And so we are extremely concerned that we're probably degenerating as a nation. Just 16 months ago, we were a perfect nation that that were coexisting, even though we had a president who was not the best. Definitely we understand that there were lots of corruption issues that mounted up into our republic, especially under the watch of Madame Salif, who was supposed to be the panacea of good governance. That individual was associated with all kinds of corruptive activities. But at least our society then held together. Even in the midst of that crisis, there were seditionists who were winning elections. That tells you that first the allegation was made that Madame rigged the first election in 2005. I don't know how that happened because she was not in power then, but they're saying that the international community truncated the outcome of that elections and gave it to somebody else. And to 2011, of course, they walked out of the contest themselves, so we ended up with Madame Salif going for a second term. So we thought this was going to be the end of electoral quote-unquote irregularities, but apparently not. Even the 2017 electoral process, there are so many instances like what Tilia and Custer were there in studio talking about, where people will spike in one end of the spectrum because people are not fair. Look, it's indecent to go to election and try to cheat. It's just indecent. Right away you have undermined the integrity that you have going in. If you win election through that process, definitely any and everything you try to do, there's something called karma. Bad luck will set in. You see how the country is degenerating so fast because whoever is in power, I want to believe, probably did not come there through some legitimate means. You're talking about 61.5% voted for me. Okay. Well, 61.5% people have that much implicit confidence in you. So there was no need for them to even be arresting people at the polling station, people who are there to ensure that the process is fair and free. You come in, we understand the role of the National Police this time. The National Police has become a partisan police organization for the CDC. You understand? It has become. And the police supposed to be the entity that actually show peace and tranquility in this. It's supposed to be neutral. But definitely our police commissioners, our police heads are appointed by the president. Therefore, they have to protect their position. They are placed there because the power that be, you understand, believe that whenever these kinds of situations occur, they would go there to protect the interests of the ruling establishment. That is what we should be trying to wane away from, because definitely it leads to violence, post-electoral violence, and that becomes a human rights issue that the international community, the ICC, could come in to investigate post-electoral violence. We already seen that a carbon copy of what transpired in the District 13 election, the by-election, where a group of thugs, because I don't call Jefferson Korji as the mayor. When you leave your electoral section, you understand, in an acrimonious electoral process, and then you fall on your men, a group of men, into somebody else's territory, you're not going there to go shake hands. You're going there because you believe that this is a way you can discipline people, to instill fear in them so they can stay away. Thing is, we see that violence that perpetuated District 13, it's the same violence that perpetuated Tiller District 15 election. People were having their rally, they were wrapping up things, boom, group of people came out of nowhere and start stoning them. You understand? Start throwing stones, and people got hurt terribly. We have to be able to stop some of these things. And the police were, allegedly the police were there standing by just gazing. You understand? And it has become a pattern. When the coalition were having their rally because they've won elections, they were within the confines of the Liberty Party headquarters. You understand? The police went there. They went there to disrupt that peaceful assembly. We are becoming the same Liberia of 1989. And majority of those who are perpetuating some of these things were either kids, did not know, don't have any recollection what transpired in 1989 that led up to 2003, when one of those crazy gulags were run out of town, arrested, and taken to The Hague. That brought peace and tranquility to us. And people soon forgotten that those kinds of situations are perpetuating themselves. They're creeping back into our system. Where you have powerful establishment figure like Jefferson Korji will give their own press conference, irrespective of whether or not the president approves. And those individuals are the very ones who will fall on people into other people's territory to cause mayhem. And when you sit complacently and watch some of these kinds of things happening, definitely you are equally as guilty. This president, I heard, is now being pressurized to remove civil servants who are not partisans of CDC out of governmental position, people who have been there long before George Weah came to power. These are all the seeds that you sow that can lead to conflict. Why would you even imagine that? Why would you even imagine that? Okay, and I'm going to be leaving here for the night. This was just a short presentation. Like I said, it was a premiere. I intend to find ways to perfect the show. I just don't want to come and talk while everybody has gone over and over. That's not how I do my own journalism. Definitely, I like to put some spices into whatever I do, but as I was saying, if we continue to think that the nation Liberia belongs to us only, because it has come to that point where people are wagging their fingers, as though they alone should be winning election. The president said it. When it comes to winning election in Montserrado, nobody else should win but him. And you know what? When you plant those kinds of imagination in your head, definitely you're going to try to make it possible, because ego steps in. Why would you say nobody else can win election in Montserrado? You can puff. Anybody can, you can brag about territorial ownership, but to have that sense of entitlement that is mine, nobody else can get it. If not, we'll retaliate. The retaliation now is the fact that if you're not a partisan of the CDC, you should not have civil service job. What are we leading up to? And I can tell you, we may have come to our senses as a people for what transpired from 1989 to 2003. But if anything should break out in Liberia again, it will be more costly. It will be more costly, and as the power that be, it is your ardent responsibility to maintain, because you have more to lose. You are the chief, in watch. You sit there to make sure that the republic is protected. And then you have irresponsible people holding press conferences, inciting other people, talking about, people cannot assemble. These are all part of democracy. The ability to assemble is a right in democracy. Jefferson Kroji cannot stop it. Mulba Molu cannot stop it. Those people cannot stop it. They are not the one who authored our democracy. They are beneficiaries. Because of our own fairness, they were able to come to power. That does not make them stronger than any other Liberians. So this idea that if it's not my way, it's the highway, we'll begin to point to their graves pretty soon. I can tell you. I heard already somebody was saying, I think it was Prophet Key, I don't peddle those kinds of things. I don't know what happened to Jefferson's siblings, but I heard that similar behaviors led to their premature death. I hope that is not the case, because nobody should be dying because of violence. But I can just see how angry these kinds of people can make others, become in a nation where they think they are stronger. You're just one man. There was a reason why we fought our civil war, and we decided to just put everything into elections, into democracy. That's because nobody wins war. To have this jeering feeling that I am the strongest guy in the society, you just laying seeds of discourse. You understand? Number one, our people don't even have the first meal tomorrow. So if you spike any kind of chaos in the system, it means our people will be entrapped. The bulk of our death or casualty from war or any misgivings come from hunger. Where there's hunger, there's illness. Cholera. 1990, cholera was prevalent because majority of the people did not have much their body could not sustain some of the surrounding, because there was no nutrition in the body, and those individuals perished. Some of them, I still have recollection of how people were pleading just for water, clean water. So when people talk like this and they think that, look, let me tell you something. If people assemble outside there to demonstrate their civil liberty, the ability to demonstrate. That is a given right in democracy. This is not, look, the Henry Costa, the cop, those are not your children. Even my children at home, I can't stifle their freedom to exercise, their God-given right. To think that you come as a leadership in office and think that you will school people and threaten them not to go about their God-given right, that is the genesis of conflict. You telling me not to go, I have my right to be out there. So therefore, you say no, I say yes. That's conflict right there. And remember, this government right now in Liberia is broke. If you prosecute war for one day, just one day, you're talking about an excess of something like $100 million, either in damages, either what you will sustain the troops. You don't even have the troops. You don't. You don't have the mechanism to protect Liberians in case there's mayhem in our society. The society is clogged. And then you just get infuriated as a president. Oh no, I would have called Jefferson Kroger and said, the next time, that's him, that's Molu. Molu is a mayor party chair. He should not be levying threat. That's why I said this government has lost direction, because if the president of the republic does not have the ability to call some of these attack dogs, these goons that he has nurtured, thinking that they too have a say in the running of the republic. Really? Jefferson has a say in the running of the Republic of Liberia? Was he elected? By who? By who? Who gave him the audacity to be making proclamation, and in the face of adversity, the president is sitting there watching? He has absolutely nothing to say. That's not leadership. I could not have been the president of the Republic of Liberia. I was going to give him an ultimatum. The next time you have the audacity to give a public pronouncement that put my government to disrepute, that would be the last time you'll be a public official. And if you continue from there, you will be prosecuted and locked up. Sometimes you have to be able to be resolute. We'll all sit down, maybe, we'll all exchange marijuana. We all can do it. We'll go to the Jamaica resort, make sure everybody is high and come out. Some people, feeling that. So some people don't feel that there's a line to cross. When you're elected president of a republic, you are responsible for the entire republic. Oh, if I were the Minister of Justice, I would have summoned Jefferson Kroger and give him an ultimatum. I think we're playing with how to run a country. That's why we have so much mayhem. We have all kinds of frenzied, frisky people, as Costa would say, pee-pee-pa. Definitely. A kid like that cannot endanger the lives of 4.55 million people. Hell no. Why should that happen? In an entire republic, one of the oldest in the world, why would you have an idiot making proclamation and the president of the republic sits there watching without saying a thing? We can't continue like this as a nation. We can't continue, and the ardent effort now to begin to see if they can petition to impeach this president, because this guy will plunge us back into chaos. Nobody wins if we go to chaos. He's not going to win, definitely. I won't win. The opposition will not win. We're all losers when we fight war. We're all losers. Why should you sit there as a president? You just, you fly around. You settle yourself to your Jamaica resort. You get high. You don't care how the country is run. In your car, it's stuffed with nothing but cognac and this. That's its own private matters. But when it comes to the president of the Republic of Liberia, we should have a sober-minded person who should be able to put their foot down and say, the next time, the only time anybody will grant press conference and begin to threaten the tranquility of the state, you understand? The next time that happens, that will be the last time you be public official. I think Mr. Weir is supposed to be able to remember now that he's the president. Forget about that, the Muya, CDC Muya. We're talking about the nation that belongs to X amount of Liberians in the diaspora as well. This is not anyone's corn farm. This is not anyone's farm. This is the republic we're talking about. If some of us were in Liberia, that frisking as Jefferson showing, Kroji making there, our old Air Force boys that are around, I was going to give them ultimatum, go get him. We'll go get him and bring him at a certain headquarters. I like Nigerians. They'll kidnap you. We're not advocating for that, but we should not be having, irresponsible people like Jefferson Kroji, who can barely wear a good brief, coming out, threatening the livelihood of an entire nation, 5-point-something or 4-point-something million people. In excess of 5 million, because there are Liberians out here too who are part of that nation. Why should the president sit there and be mute? This has been the MOS since Mr. Weir came to power. How many individuals you heard issuing ultimatum under Madam Salif administration? How many? And I think we sit there and we allow these things to because of our own partisan interest. But this is beyond partisanship. This is about the livelihood of a republic. We cannot afford to go helter-skelter back to our neighbors, say we're seeking sanctuary. They will not even listen to us. So when a little boy like Jefferson Kroji steps out there and start to infuriate the peace and tranquility of the nation, the president cannot speak, then I think citizenship should begin to take the law, to the next level. Issue an arrest for him, since he wants to be violent. Definitely. I could not have been in Liberia, I'm telling you. My Air Force boys were going to be willing to say, Chief just gave the order. We'll go get him. Let him see real violence, because he was a little boy when the war was being orchestrated. So he's there now, thinking that, the Sabu unit they ran under Madam Sirleaf, when Madam Sirleaf was innocently trying to, she's not a violent type, because she wants to be able, she renders her own violence in different form. But do you think President Taylor would have been the president and Jefferson and the rest of the other people would be playing friskiness at that level? Where were they? Maybe some of them were the same one forming the SBU under Taylor. But let me tell you something. This is a different republic. We have elected Mr. Weir. We did not elect the CDC. We elected President Weir. If he cannot stand up and begin to issue silent ultimatum, call these people behind closed doors through whatever form. Stop giving these kinds of infuriating press conferences that will tickle the peace and tranquility of our nation. Till then, ladies and gentlemen, let me go, because I have other matters to tend to. I have my radio show, but I'm just saying that we are beginning to be a lawless republic once more. I thought we crossed that line. I thought the advent of Madam Sirleaf, the peaceful transition of power from her to Mr. Weir, was the end of all of these kinds of activities that we're seeing today, 16 months after Madam Sirleaf handed over the gavel of state. We cannot continue to live like this as a people, where every day we look forward to some teeny-weeny, some idiot, some sycophant, some sociopath, issuing threat against people. I have the clip here if I play it for God's sake, so you can listen to some of the nonsense the idiot had to say. You know, these are the individuals when this government goes into when this government is done tomorrow, they don't even have the face to raise it up to look at others in the eyes, because people always forget. Well, have a good night.